Hey, how have you been, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Stranger Things, Season 3, Episode 8, Chapter 8, The Battle of Starcourt, the season finale. We're here after 2 days of binging. I'm finally here, and we're finally here together. Damn, wow, I feel... In terms of viewership, I feel like I've kind of rushed through it so as to avoid not being able to record it when I want to record it at a weekly basis, and also in order to avoid spoilers on the internet, which sucks, but at the same time, that's just life. But I mean, on the one hand, it feels kind of rushed, but on the second hand, it's like I did it the best way that I could in order to get these reactions out on time. So yeah, Stranger Things. Where to begin? So last episode we had Alexei's unfortunate demise, to Alexei Smirnov of Stranger Things, his unfortunate demise at the hands of Russian Terminator. Just a silenced pistol to the middle of his chest, and he bled out next to a stall at the fun fair. He deserved better than that. He deserved to go out like a hero, not being called a traitor by the Russian dude. He deserved to go out like a hero. If anything, like a self-sacrifice would have been more acceptable, as opposed to just but like a straight out murder. But he gave Hopper and Joyce the information they needed. Gave his new BFF Murray the information that he needed. So everything they need to do and everything they need to know, they already know. So he gave them everything he could. But he still deserved better. That does not justify his death. He still deserved better than that. But that was unfortunate, and it happened. We had the kids versus the Mind Flayer in Hop's cabin, and the Mind Flayer kind of took a chunk out of Elle, or at least left a chunk of him inside Elle, so that he could track her, and used Billy to do so with her puddle of blood at the 7-Eleven that they stopped off at to get some first aid supplies. We had Mike admitting to his jealousy, and the kind of reason, apologizing for lying, and the reason he was jealous, at first he was kind of greedy and wanted her all to himself, and he didn't realize the friendship that she had with Max and everything. So now he's kind of matured, and he's understand that they're together, but they're not exclusive to they're not mutually exclusive. They can have other friendships and stuff. So it was a nice moment of maturity on his end, which was very nice. And I feel like she's ever so slightly injured with that bite as well. She still managed to kill some Russians by toppling a car into them. But at the same time, I feel like that kind of took a lot out of her as well, because her body is injured, so she is kind of draining herself a lot quicker. But that happened. Robin, my sweet Robin, she came out to Steve. Steve kind of subtly confessed his kind of feelings towards her. And at first it was kind of obvious that she didn't really feel the same way, and she was kind of heartbroken to tell him that. But there was more to it, because she kind of went back on her story about having been obsessed and jealous with him in high school, and it was because another girl was interested in him, not because he was with another girl. So she was actually interested in Tammy, the girl that was into Steve. So she's gay. So we have our first lesbian icon on Stranger Things. So yeah, that is very, very cool, and I need Robin to stick around for season 4. Okay, I need to stick around, and I need to commence Operation Find Robin a Girlfriend, Find Robin a Lovely Girlfriend. So we need to see more of Robin in season 4. But even after that scene, her and Steve stayed cool. They still sat around laughing about Tammy and her poor singing skills. So yeah, so that was a very, very nice, nicely constructed scene, very, very nice message in it, and our first LGBT character in Stranger Things, and in the 80s of all time. So yeah, that was very cool. So looking forward to seeing Robin progress throughout the show. We had that, and we have I think we know what the end game is here. We have to kill the Mind Flayer, but we also have to take down the machine that the Russians built to stop the gate from opening, and we have to destroy it completely. We like you know, Murray said, you know, like we need to have it explode and destroy it, and you know, like no chance of it being rebuilt in Hawkins. So that's going to be the end game. But what's going to happen in terms of that? I mean, you know, this is the season finale, so it wouldn't really be a season finale with some eventful and emotionally harrowing shit happening. I'm anticipating I'm anticipating deaths for the sole purpose of not being like just so much more emotionally kind of, you know, damaged when it happens. So like if I don't see it coming, then it's just gonna be even worse. I'm just probably gonna pass out or something. But then if I at least expect someone to die, it's still gonna be traumatizing. But it's you know, I'll at least know that I prepared myself for it beforehand. I don't know who's gonna die. I don't want to think about who's gonna die, because the more I think about it, the more I'll actually come up with some plausible theories, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, but shutting down the key and the machine is the way to stop this, and then killing the Mind Flayer once and for all. He is an actual physical being now, something that can bleed, and if it bleeds, you can kill it. Or I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna work him, because like if he goops out, then he just goops out. I don't really think he morphs into another one, because he is the final form, if anything. So he needs to die quickly. Quickly, yeah, so that he doesn't have the chance to fight back, but painlessly, I don't care. He needs to die. He's a dick. He needs to die. You know, so I think you kill him, I think that kills Billy as well, so that'll be fun to see, Billy dying. Surprisingly, I mean, besides from kidnapping Heather and joining and kidnapping other people along with her to sacrifice to the Mind Flayer, he hasn't done anything overtly Billy this season. But you know, that in no way does that justify his actions in season 2. He's still a dick. Still looking forward to seeing him die. So yeah, that's that. And overall, it's just the last episode of the season. So yeah, I mean, I feel like me binging through this in terms of reactions, I kind of rushed through it kind of, and like I'm just gonna be sad there's no more left. But I do think I'm gonna be able to give this season a once more, you know, to actually properly let everything sink in, and to catch up on to catch out other stuff that I missed out on in my initial viewing. But reaction wise, I feel like because I binged through this, and because it's a TV show designed for you to binge through it, it feels a bit rushed. But again, I need to make sure that I have it recorded now, so I avoid having like that much distance between the reactions, and you know, avoid not being able to record it next week when I want to. So yeah, and also this helps me avoid spoilers. The sooner I get to an episode, it helps me avoid spoilers. So yeah, but that is pretty much all I have for this, for what happened in the last episode. So, Chapter 8, The Battle of Starcourt. Let's go. Right, cut it out. Or just whack it with a wooden spoon. Oh no, that's going to be hard to bite down on. Yeah, the wooden spoon's going to be able to bite down. Oh, buddy. Oh, crap. No, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You got this, Just bite down on that spoon. Oh, jeez. Come on now, you got this, come on. Oh, jeez, oh, shit. Get out of her! And stay out! Oh shit. Oh, is it Billy? Oh, it's Hopper! He's here! They're all here! The parents are home! They're home! Everyone's back together! There we go. That's how it should be. Oh god, oh, that was... Wow, that was painful to watch.
You do what this man tells you, you're all gonna die.
I'm sorry, why is this 4-year-old speaking to me?
I'm 10, you Bob.
America!
Just the facts.
Todd father?
Oh, screw Todd. Steve's her daddy now.
Oh, jeez.
Talk about yourself from the third person.
Did you just call yourself a vehicle's daddy?
All right, where are we going?
Really?
Weather top. Weather what?
Okay, if anyone, Robin is the daddy. Okay, let's just get that off the table.
Lieutenant Molotov?
Lieutenant Molotov. That's how you make an entrance.
We just need the ignition cable.
Oh, that's a good point. Wait, would the model and make of the car not differ? Or would all ignition cables work the same? Well, since they're trying it, I assume it will still work. Oh, that's the first thing she tried it with, a Coke can. This new rebranded Coke, it won't work. The rebrand doesn't work. Doesn't agree with her. Oh, he's a coming. We've got a party crasher here. Well, they're in trouble. That much is very much obvious. They're in trouble. Shit. Oh shit, yes, the mind flare there. Oh, that is a very ominous message to send, you slimy shitbag. Come on! Fire at will. No, not at will, but I mean fire at the thing. Oh, okay, good. Distraction. Distraction time. Yeah, let's go check out those balloons. Oh, you're out of bullet, Nancy! Whoa! Yes, Stevie! That's my boy! Nice one, Stevie! That's round 2 for you, Steve versus Billy. That's round 2. Wait, is this Susie? Did he not say Susie's real?
I haven't heard from you in a week, and
sorry to rush you, sweetheart, but we need this to save the world.
So you can
turn around. Look at what you see in her face.
Written on the pages is the answer to our never-ending story.
Oh, never-ending story.
Reach the stars, fly a fantasy.
Oh god.
607004.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Susie. I needed that. I needed that. That is fucking. That was amazing. I will. That was adorable as shit. Okay. Time consuming but adorable. Time consuming but adorable. No! Fireworks! Yeah! That's my boy! Uh-huh, that's it. Heat fire, bitch! There we go. There we go, yeah. Lock and load. Yeah! Let it fly! There we go. There we go. There we go. No! Just that one memory. The one good memory in his head. The one good memory left. You were good, Billy. You were good. Because of her. Oh, there we go, Hop. Come on, that's it! Press into the wound. Throw him in. Oh, shit! Wait. The veins are all gone from Billy's body. They're all gone. Oh, shit! Billy's saving her! He's saving Elle! Oh! Oh, shit. Oh, sugar. Okay. Oh, crap. Close it. Oh, no. Oh, she has to blow it up! It's gonna blow it up! No! Hop! Come back! Make it quick! Come back! Be quick! Just jump through the... Oh no! Don't kill Hop! Oh shit! Oh jeez! Oh god! Oh god! Oh my god! No! Don't kill! No! No! Don't kill Hopper! Don't! No, Joyce! No! He's dead. The Mind Flayer's dead.
Sorry.
Oh, Max, I'm so sorry. Oh, Max, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, El. I'm sorry.
Star Wars?
A New Hope.
New what now?
Jesus.
Star Wars.
One with the teddy bears. Oh, the one that just came out. The movie that just came out. The one where the DeLorean and Alex P. Keaton and he's trying to bang his mom.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
He's a douchebag of the highest order, Robin.
He's also a mother of like 7 kids.
Cool, I'll grant you that.
What's in it for you? You got a thing for him or something?
Nah, he's not a type. Nah, he's not a type.
We're just,
Rhymes that keep their secrets.
Did we get that first right? It's unfold behind the clouds.
Oh god.
Could you please stop?
Oh jeez.
And then I left some Eggos out in the woods, and you came into my life, and for the first time in a long time, I started to feel things again. I miss playing board games every night. Making triple-decker Eggo extravaganzas at sunrise. Watching westerns together before we doze off. I don't want things to change. So I think maybe that's why I came in here. So you know what? Keep on growing up, kid. Don't let me stop you. Make mistakes. Learn from them. If you don't mind. For the sake of your poor old dad. Keep the door open 3 inches.
are you okay?
No. No. I'm sorry for the waterworks. But Hope knows how to write a good speech. He really does. Oh god. Oh, crying's not cool, is it? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. It's an emotional response and I'm very fucking... Kamchatka, Russia. What's this? No, not the American. Wait. They've got an American? They have a Demogorgon! The Russians have a Demogorgon! Wait, what? The Russians have got a Demogorgon! Like a fully grown Demogorgon. The Russians have a Demogorgon. Wow. Okay. That's surprising. Okay. So they had a mid-credit scene and they have a Demogorgon. Okay. Wow. Okay. I don't know if they're gonna have a post-credit scene or if that's it. But yeah, I think I'll skip ahead to see the post-credit scene. Monkey Massacre. I don't know what that is. Okay, no post-credit scene then. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, definitely got teary-eyed towards the end there. Okay. So, where to begin? So that mid-credit scene. I mean, I honestly don't even know where to start with this episode. Hop's death. I want to start there. I want to start with Hop's death. That was such a Tony Stark thing to do. I think, you know, he stayed behind not because he needed to make sure that it exploded, but you know, they needed to explode it and they needed to blow it up, and they needed to blow it up as soon as possible. And they also, I'll move this closer. They also needed to, you know, like the way the electricity was spinning round, there was no way he could have made it across without being fried, like the guys we saw at the beginning of the season. There was no way he would have been killed. He would have been killed either way, and he knew it was the only way, and he knew the priority was to blow the machine up before anything else. So, yeah. I don't know, I feel like I jinxed it from the beginning. From the beginning of the episode, I feel like I jinxed it, like, you know, like saying like as long as they both come back safe and sound, it's gonna be fine. You know, they got a date. Date didn't happen because Hopper didn't make it out. Okay, but I don't know. I mean, it was the same thing. I mean, it wasn't even a self-sacrifice because he didn't need to be there for it to blow up. But it just, you know, like they did it because they needed to do it the sooner the better, as soon as possible, because the fireworks were not working on the Mind Flayer, which I don't know why, but I mean probably because he was too strong for it. But the fireworks weren't working on the Mind Flayer. They needed to close off that gate to cut the connection between the shadow and the body, mind and body. But I think, you know, it's they had no window of opportunity to wait until he made it back there alive, so he knew it needed to happen, and it may well have cost him his life. He went ahead with that idea in mind. So yeah, that's. But I mean, in terms of that, like his death with the mid-credit scene, I don't know. I mean, they were going up to doors, and then I think the first one they went up to, the guy said no, not the American. Why, like, who's? I mean, I feel like it's a bit far fetched going into it, like saying it could be Hop, because it could be any other American. But I think what other American would be of value to them besides from Hop? And we saw after it blew up, the Russians crowded the lab before the Americans did. Before the cavalry came in with Dr. Owen, the Russians came in, like just behind what's his fucking name, Murray. They came in behind them, and that's why Murray and Joyce escaped as quickly as they did, because they saw the Russians coming in. So we saw no body. We saw no body. I mean, Joyce saw no body. I mean, I don't know if that directly means the body was disintegrated, because at the beginning of the season that wasn't the case. The bodies were fried and they were, burnt up, but they were still there. They were still evident. But yeah, they were right. I mean, I know like they were gooped out. Some of them were gooped out, but for the most part, I think they were just fried. I think Alexei said they turned to dust or something, but I don't know. I didn't see any piles of dust or any dust from the bodies. I think some of them gooped out from the pressure of collision with objects, and some of them gooped out just from the electricity as a whole. But I don't think they actually turned to dust. So I don't think Hopper's body should. I think he would have been blown off his feet from the explosion. He wouldn't have just stayed in one place. He would have been blown off his feet, and then because that what he was on was like a bridge of sorts. It was on like a set of stairs with like a balcony, if anything, like a rail. So so he would have been blown off his feet and sent toppling over. So he would have landed on like a lower platform or something. That would have been why she hadn't seen the body. But then to her, it would make sense why she thought he would have been disintegrated by it. But yeah, we saw no body, so so then that would have meant that the Russians instead of going after Joyce and Murray, they would have looked around to see, and they would have found Hopper's body. But then would he not have been killed? I mean, believe me, I don't want him to be dead from this, but I feel like he was front and center to the explosion. He was literally standing like 2 feet away from the machine after having pushed in the other Russian dude, and that dude was meshed up. There's no way he's coming back to life. But this guy himself, I think, but Hopper himself, I think like given how close he was, there's a good chance he would have been the first to go from the explosion, first and only. But if on some off chance he is alive and the Russians found out that his body is barely alive, I feel they would keep him prisoner. Yeah, because I think that like corridor that they were walking down, I think that is like some kind of prisoner block. But yeah, the first all they tried, he said no, not that one, not the American, the other one, and the other guy was Russian. So I feel like maybe those are prisoners they're keeping. So it would make much more. I mean, assuming the American is Hopper, it would make much more sense. I feel to like for them to keep Hopper prisoner than to kill him off to the Demogorgon. Because he knows about the stuff. He's dealt with the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer, so he has knowledge that they likely don't, if anything. But yeah, I think seeing the effect of Hop's death on everyone, I think that was heartbreaking. Just Joyce just knowing, like I think Joyce, I thought she started crying because she saw Jonathan coming and then he was going to embrace, but no, she saw Elle and she knew that girl lost her father today. So that was just heartbreaking. But then that whole ending sequence 3 months later. Well, no, actually no, before the 3 months later, there is happier stuff to go on to, such as we finally meet Susie Poo, as Dustin calls it, as what is it? As is it Dusty Bin? Does she call him Dusty Bin? Okay, well, we finally met Susie over in Utah. Dustin figured that she was the one who knew the Planck's constant, but she would not give it to him under any circumstances unless, and only unless, he sang the Neverending Story for her. I cannot tell you how heartwarming that was, and just how uplifting, just how overall just hilarious, just them in a duet singing the Neverending Story. I've got to go back and watch that particular set again. Like just them singing that, right? And then like, what was it like? Thingy, just everyone in the background just wondering what the fuck is going on right now. Like the world is about to end, and these kids are singing the never-ending fucking story. Oh god, okay. So that's, hold on, subtitles. There we go. So that's that. Save the world. Oh, Dusty Bun, not Dusty Bin. Dusty Bun. It's Dusty Bun. He starts off the verse. Yep, everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, that is just beautiful. That is young love. That right there is the definition of young love. Yeah. Everyone's like, guys, come on. World ending. Oh god. No, just the best. Oh. Mm. She has a great voice though. They both do. When they vocalize, they have great voices. When they dual vocalize, they have great voices. Yeah. Oh, that's just beautiful. That is just absolutely beautiful. That is young love right there, you know. That is young love. But we finally met Susie. We have confirmation. My cheeks hurt. No. Hold on. We finally have confirmation that Susie exists, and she is smart. She knows all of Planck's constants. I mean, I assume there are different versions of Planck's constant, maybe reinterpreted throughout different fields or different practices. I don't know, but apparently she knows the Planck's constant that they didn't. So yeah, so Susie exists, and she is a big fan of the Neverending Story, as well as the song. I assume that's from the movie The Neverending Story, because I've only watched that like once, and that was when I was like 10. So yeah, I mean, I know it's one of those. I know it's supposed to be one of those movies you never forget, so it's nostalgia, and I did get a little nostalgic from it because I think I do remember hearing that song somewhere, and I assume from a Neverending Story, it's from the Neverending Story. But anyway, yeah. So Susie exists, and her and Dustin's song is the Neverending Story. So keep that jotted down for future reference. But yeah, so that's that. That's Dusty Bin and Dusty Bun. I don't know why I keep calling him Bin. It's Dusty Bun. She's not calling him a bin. It's Dusty Bun and Susie Poo. Hop's death, traumatizing, and I mean, I don't even know what to think anymore. I don't know if it actually happened, if he's still alive in some way, just like near death, just being nursed back to health by the Russians only to be kept. I don't know, but we will find out soon. So. Hop. I'm gonna keep down a question mark because I feel like that, but we can come back to that later. Billy's death. Okay. I feel conflicted about this because I saw the day before or the week before, like the few days before season 4 actually premiered on Netflix. I saw so many people on Twitter and on Tumblr just begging to not let anybody except for Billy die. To not let anybody except for him die. And they were like some people were describing ways in which he could die, pretty gruesome. Some were just saying, oh, if you're gonna kill anyone, just kill off Billy. No one cares anyway. And given how we saw him in season 2, it was, I felt like those kind of responses to that kind of character were justified. He was not a fan favorite in any way. Some people were defending him because he's played by a conventionally attractive actor. Dacre Montgomery's a conventionally attractive dude, so there were people kind of supporting him and saying, oh, he's misunderstood, he's innocent, he's poor, and blah 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 blah, because of that, and like saying, oh, he was abused too, so it's okay. He's just he doesn't know any better, which is bollocks. But yeah, so many people, like there were a lot of loud voices saying, just kill off Billy, and if you're gonna kill off anyone. But he did die. Billy did die in this season, and I feel conflicted because in this season, I feel like I don't think they were headed for a redemption arc. I personally don't feel like they were headed for a redemption arc. The way upon my initial viewing, I don't feel like they were headed for a redemption arc. I feel what they were headed for is just to show that he was not always like this monster. Like, he was a monster, but monsters are not born monsters. He didn't come out of the womb telling everyone to fuck off and just beating everyone with a fucking stick or anything like that. He actually, when he was a kid and he had his mother around and he had that kind of support system, he was good, he was kind, and he was a good person, and things went wrong for him that he processed and internalized in completely, unfortunately wrong ways. And it doesn't justify anything he's done. What he did is still wrong, and he was still a bad person when he was around. But I feel like showing off that history to Elle especially, I think that was a very good. I feel like that was kind of like a plot mechanic to get her to be able to kind of confide in him later on, as opposed to her being the one to understand the most. I mean, she's been through her fair share of trauma. She had a terrible father figure in Dr. Brenner, but she was abused to different extents. She was abused and made to feel like it was she was doing something good and that he was helping her. She was never abused and made to feel like there was something wrong with her, or that she was a bad person. Like, she was experimented on and repeatedly kind of pushed to her limits with her powers. But her suffrage was painful, but in terms of Billy's, Billy's father told him abusive crap. He told him he was a pussy and that he was worthless and that stuff like that. And he filled his head with toxic masculinity. But with 11, it's like her father, Dr. Brenner took a more scientific approach and treated her more like an actual test subject as opposed to a daughter, and made it because she was a young child, he made her call him Papa and told her that he was there for her. But in reality, he did kind of all she was there for was as a test subject to prove his theories, to supply him with results and all of that stuff. So I think in that sense there may be a bit of relation, but overall I feel like for the most part I feel like showing her his memories was more of a plot mechanic than anything else. So when it came to time to actually for someone to be able to talk Billy down from doing all of this and to actually talk to the Billy inside and to get him to fight back against the Mind Flayer, that would be Elle. That would be Elle to do that. Someone who'd actually seen his memories and been there to witness it in some sense. So yeah, I think that was a very good sequence overall, and I think that kind of last minute thing of her actually instead of just trying to run away from the Mind Flayer when it wouldn't have worked, instead of trying to fight back against Billy, she took the time to actually kind of try. She took a risk. That is a big if. She took a risk because she didn't know there was no way for her to know how strong the Mind Flayer's hold over Billy was. He could he could have been listening on the inside, but then the Mind Flayer's what? That's in Billy's past. This is his future. I am his future. So it's time for you to go. It could have gone that way, but she rolled the dice. She took a risk and actually reminded him of who he is and where he came from and what what used to be, and that his mother believed him to be a good kid and that he could do good. So his last actions were in that mindset that he was actually saving someone. and like that. I think that like you could see in that scene you could see, and I think it was in a bit of slow motion, but you could see like as he was remembering the Billy from that day. Like she was describing everything in so much detail. Like the wave was 7 feet high, like the sand was running, and like she wore like a yellow flower and a dress, and she was a really pretty woman. And he ran back to her after he finished surfing, stuff like that. Like everything he could possibly, everything he himself could possibly remember about that day, about his mother, she recited to him to try and get to like the deepest core of himself. To try and reach him as best as possible. And as that was happening and the camera was cutting back and forth, you could see the veins were slowly disappearing. Billy was actually gaining control again because she was describing his mother, and like reminding him of the person that knew him before he turned bad, and reminding him of the person that knew him and knew him to be a good person and knew that he was capable of being good. And so I think that like that was what made him finally make the decision to actually save Elle instead, and to actually give his own life to the Mind Flayer. And I think that like seeing him die, it was brutal. Just like I don't know. I mean, because with Billy, it was the Mind Flayer doing that, and then with Bob in the last scene, it reminded me of how Bob died. Because with Bob in the last scene, he was just hounded by demodogs, and they were going at him like digging their claws into his ribs and his side and just everywhere. And with Billy, it's like the Mind Flayer grew one little mini mouth to actually grasp onto Elle, but then Billy stopped it, and then tried to hold that back, and then and then upon realizing that Billy had betrayed him, the Mind Flayer just grew more mouthed just for the sake of killing him, and just every possible angle, and then one final shot to his heart, or at least at the center of his chest. So that was brutal to see. And Again, because of how they executed it and what they brought back in order to make it as emotional as it was, I'm conflicted over it, and especially with Max as well. Like she was trying to like before he took Elle from that room, she tried to talk him out of it. She tried to say Billy, this is not who you are. You are Billy. You live at like his address and everything else that she could possibly say in that split second to like try and coax him out of the Mind Flayer's shell. She tried it and it didn't work. But with Elle, she saw his memory. She knew every single thing that happened. She knew every detail for the detail. So I think the way they did that was it was a very emotional one, and it was definitely a self-sacrificial one because it gave them the chance they needed to protect Elle, and he gave his life doing it. And I think and even before he died, he apologized to Max. And I know, speaking in a general sense, that's not going to be enough. Like him saying dying, like him saying he's sorry just before he dies is not enough, because he didn't really get he doesn't really use any opportunity to actually confide in Max beforehand. But then again, he doesn't have it because he's possessed by the Mind Flayer 24/7, and he's doing his bidding all the time. So with that, I'm conflicted. But Max seemed fairly heartbroken over it, and I think it's I don't know, because she got him to leave her alone at the end of season 2. Like when he went to Will's house, she got him to leave her alone, and that happened. It worked, and he walked away. And I think that was it. I think she, as angry as it was, even if she would have muttered said to herself in her own head, like, oh, I hope he would just leave, or I hope he dies, or something like that. I think deep down, she still recognized him as like family because of their situation. And I think towards the end, she did still she wanted there to be a good side to him. She wanted there to be a good side to him. She didn't want to have to see him die as much shit as he did. And I heard there was a book released as well, like a Stranger Things book that actually showcases like Max's life before her and Billy and her parents move to Hawkins, and it shows like what her past was like, and like where the abuse with Billy actually started. So I haven't read that book. I mean, I think I'm probably going to be recommended to get it, so that I can so that I can actually get a deeper understanding. But I've heard that's pretty good, and I've heard that in that one she had a friend who got close to her, like not romantic close, but she had a friend, and Billy didn't like him, so he broke his fingers, and then threatened him and warned him to stay away from her. And then because of that, like Max didn't want that to happen. She was friends with the kid, but then because of that, the kid felt too threatened and too scared by Billy to go anywhere near Max anymore, and he just kind of like felt weird towards Max as well, so he just avoided her. So she had a friend, she had a friendship, she had someone who she was close to, and then Billy took that away from her. So that was maybe like a starting point to the abuse. Just Billy treating her like crap and then isolating her from everyone else. And again, these kinds of things make you wish that, you know, those kinds of characters would die, or that they would just leave as a whole. So yeah, but with this, I mean, for me right now, I feel conflicted, just having seen him die. Like, I'm kind of like, you know, I know, like, I see how emotional it was for Max for like losing him like that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, he left her alone in season 3, and she was free to hang out with whoever she wanted, you know, because she sent him that message, and she was, you know, for the first time, season 3. If you look at season 2 Max and season 3 Max, you see a large difference. Like, you know, season 3, she doesn't have Billy inside, like Billy in her life anymore as much. You know, she's like, you know, he's doing his own thing, she's doing her own thing with her new friends. She actually has friends now. She's got a new life and a new kind of approach to life as a whole. So because of that, it's like, you know, she gets a lot more time to actually experience life and think about things without that kind of intrusion of Billy going on in her head anymore. And, you know, chances are she still has a lot of trauma from how Billy, like, from what Billy did to her. But now it's like, you know, she has new people surrounding, like around her. She has a better social circle. And, you know, it's just like, it's overall just like she has a better mind. Like, she goes day to day with a better mindset now, and it's a newer kind of lifestyle for her. So in that sense, like she's like, for some part, she's able to kind of remove that whole idea of Billy being this monster that's just ever present in her life. And she's able to kind of like with that abuse stopping now, like now that she told him to go away and to leave her alone, leave her friends alone, with that abuse stopping, it gives her a breath of fresh air. So in that sense, you know, she hasn't forgotten what he's done, she hasn't forgiven him in any way, but it's no longer happening because she made her stand, and, you know, and she's surrounded by people who would help her if anything did happen. So in that sense, I think she was, you know, even ever so slightly, I think she was able to kind of craft a new message, like a new image of Billy out, because now he's leaving her alone. So now, you know, he's still the same old dickbag, but he's just not like a dickbag towards her anymore. So in that sense, things are better for her. So I think because of that, she was able to craft a somewhat a new image of Billy in her head, and this was the one that was like that was still her brother, more than anything. And, you know, it was still, you know, it was still someone who was her family, someone who she knew, and, you know, even partially loved. So like at the end, like seeing him die like that, seeing him die saving her friend, like something he never would have done in season. If anything, in season 2, he would have helped the Mind Flayer kill her the way that he was supposed to. You know, like, or he would have killed her just because she was annoying him, like, in whatever way. But with this, like, she actively sees Billy in front of Elle, actively stopping the Mind Flayer from killing her and making his sacrifice move. So that will be very emotionally kind of like harrowing for her. And then, you know, she wants to get him back, and then she doesn't. And then, you know, his last words to her, you know, he could have said anything, but, you know, he did take that split second opportunity he did take to apologize to her. So yeah, so that one, again, I'm conflicted, but I can see where the emotion kind of, you know, is in support of Billy's death, and it is in support of mourning Billy. But, you know, he never really changed. Like, that one scene that he actually changed, that he actually chose to do something for someone else, out of good intent, you know. So yeah, I'm conflicted, and it doesn't change what he did. It was a sacrifice play he made because of someone reminding him of his happiest memory and of a time when he was good. But overall, it doesn't completely outweigh the bad he's done. In my personal opinion, it doesn't completely outweigh the bad he's done. So yeah, but that was Billy's death. What else? Yeah, the design. I want to talk about this. The design of the Mind Flayer, like the flesh version, is really good. I feel like they had an easier time with the shadowy one because there was no distinct figure. They could have as many legs for it as they wanted. They could have like any shape for it. There was no specific kind of figure that it had to have. But with this one, it's like it actively looks like terrifying. It looks like, you know, the way that Steve described it, like this giant fleshy spider thing, like that looks horrifying. I'm not even joking. That actually looks horrifying, and it definitely looks like a shadow spider thing. And I'm pretty sure I think it's got like 6 legs, but it could very easily grow more if it just absorbs more goop and people. So yeah, but the design of that, and I feel like with this one they actually had to make it look like a living, breathing, like fleshy kind of like substance, or like not a substance, but like an actual, like a moving figure, like a body that actually belonged to a living being. Whereas with the shadow one, that's just like wisps of dark air that just molds into whatever it wants. But with this, it's actually it's limited to the amount of flesh it has. You know, it could, like, you know, it can get stuff chopped off, like we saw. You know, it moves about, it's very visible, and it's like it actually damages the environment around it. So you like there's a lot of like VFX work gone into it. You know, it looks very real, and it has to look real for it to be believable. And they just did a fantastic job on this thing. I think they did an absolutely fantastic job on the design for this thing. And you know, for the most part, it's still pretty much like 99 maybe percent. Like it looks exactly like the Mind Flayer did, but because it's fleshy, you can actually see, like before, like with the Shadow Spider, it could have easily been passed off as like a silhouette of the Mind Flayer, but with this, it's actually like a proper like 3-dimensional existing kind of presence that you can see, and like you can actually like, you know, again, you can tell it's a very, very existent thing in the room. So yeah, but the design for this thing is just off the charts. It's just so good, so damn good. So yeah, that design is just incredible. Definitely gonna give me nightmares. No joke about that. That's definitely gonna give me nightmares. But yeah, so that was that. What else? So that's the Mind Flayer's design. So yeah, Hop's death. Coming back to that, I don't know what I say. Come back to that, but I don't know what else there really is to say. But I feel like I feel like I called it from the beginning. Like, as long as they both come back safe and sound, you know, like everything will be fine. And then only Joyce does, you know, and I feel bad for calling that out as well, like actually, you know, like saying like, oh, you both better come back safe and sound, and like, you know, as soon as they actually, it seems like in these kinds of TV shows and movies, as soon as they start crafting plans of what to do afterwards, that's when one of them dies or one of them just doesn't make it out. You know, as soon as they start planning ahead, you know, like that's when things go wrong. That's when the moment they're in actually gives them some kind of misfortune. So, you know, like it's time they learn, you know, just stick in the moment for now. Think about what comes after when after comes. So yeah, but that I still can't believe this. I actively can't believe this. I knew I wanted to jump out of my chair. I wanted to jump in and just throw him across the room through the electric kind of rays and save him myself, but it's just I'm all out of energy. I'm all out of energy from that scene alone, and just his face, just knowing, like, you know, he's not gonna like him just assuming and like just fully cementing in his mind the belief that he's not going to make it out, but it's going to save the world, and telling Joyce, like, it's okay, just do this. We have no other choice. Just it's okay, Joyce. Just switch it. Just blow this thing sky high. And then no body of Hopper afterwards. That's hard. And Elle loses the one father figure in her life that actually mattered to her. Like Hopper was her first true chance at having a father. And season 2, it worked. And season 3, we get an even better shot, like domestic Hopper, like domestic Jim and Jane Hopper life. And you know, he's got a problem with her boyfriend as well, and I'm glad they sorted that out as well, like him calling Mike back just to tell him to be careful. So that that was great to see. But yeah, her one chance with a father, and after 2 seasons, it just didn't work out. And God, he better come back. He better come back. He better be the American they're talking about. He better be the American they're talking about. He better be alive, just being nursed back to health by the Russians. But yeah, but for now, he's Schrodinger's Hopper. He's both dead and not dead at the same time. So yeah, but I don't know what I think right now. I have no idea what I think, but right now I do think. Well, I do hope that Hopper is still alive, because Alexi's death was traumatizing enough for me. I do not need the death of a main character like Hopper to stick with me for season 4. So yeah, that was that. So 3 months later, a 3-month time jump. So still in 1985, I presume. Yeah, should be still in 1985. But 3 months later. And Starcourt is down, so that's been taken down, I assume. The mayor has been arrested, as he should be, for all the shit that he's done. He's been arrested. The whole thing was publicized. So the Hawkins lab thing was publicized. Bob's death, and Jim's and Hopper's death, that was all televised as well. And it was all passed off as like a potential conspiracy theory, like a chemical leak and weird, like, government-funded secret experiments in Hawkins' lab, and all of these deaths as well to try and change it and try and stop it. That stuff was televised, so more people will know about it. More people know that is for sure. More people know about it. But Robin and Steve, they get a new job at the video store. What was it called again? I can't remember. I think Doug was his name. He was in season 2, and he wanted to he wanted to get Nancy's number from Mike or something. So yeah. So they're getting a new job, and he got his mum's reference for it. Family Video. That's it. Family Video. So yeah. So they got new jobs there. Well, Robin definitely got a new job there, but Steve kind of had to haggle his way in on account of not really having any good choices of favorite movies. But yeah, Keith, that's his name. Keith, that's yeah. So Keith, so wait, what are Robin's favorite movies? The Apartment, Hidden Fortress, and Children Of Yeah, those are 3 favorite movies. Steve's 3 favorite movies. What were his favorite movies? Star Wars? Just any old Star Wars movie? The one with the teddy bears. God, Star Wars fans would fucking skin him alive. They would skin him alive. Well, the hardcore ones anyway. The ones that are really sensitive. Back to the Future. Yeah, apparently because the main theme of it is incest. Apparently that's his favourite movie. Yeah, so that. Yeah, You Start Monday and You Start Never. So yeah, that's that. But I love Robin's method of actually sneaking here, of actually trying to get Keith to move him in. Like, you know, like saying, oh, when he was in Scoops Ahoy, there were so many girls coming in for the ice cream and for him as well. So, when he comes here, like girls are coming in here as well, very, very hot girls. So, you're going to need some assistance in actually, like dealing with them, for lack of a better phrase. Dealing with them. So, you're going to need some assistance, and Steve, the King Harrington, is the best form of assistance you could possibly get. Besides from Robin, I have no doubt Robin is going to be, like, either being flirted with or flirting on the sidelines as well. Just, just on the sly, just sneaking girls some secret films or something like that. But she's got Steve there as her lesbian ally. Steve's gonna be dropping her number to girls as well. I have no fucking doubt about that. He's gonna be her number one lesbian ally. But yeah, I think I like that they've still stuck together as friends, and Robin still kind of still kind of certifies that. Like when Keith asks if they're together, like she says, no, it's nothing like that. We're just friends. They are very good friends, but that's as far as it goes. And throughout this entire season, Robin and Steve have been an amazing duo. They've been an amazing duo. They've gone through so much. They've been through thick and thin, and they've just been amazing pals all together. And they are the definition of pals. And they both seem to be able to like handle and tolerate each other to like some extent, and they just get along well together. So yeah, there's that, and looking forward to more of their iconic friendship into season 4, and looking forward to Robin finally getting a girlfriend in season 4. Well, I mean, I say finally. She doesn't really seem to be any rush to get into one, so I think if she's not looking for a relationship, then no one else should force her. But if she does get a girlfriend, then I'll be all the more happier for her. And if Steve gets a girlfriend in season 4 as well, Mama Steve needs another mama. Or like an actual biological mother. Yeah, like a biological... Anyway, he needs a girlfriend. So, yeah, he needs to find some love of his own. And hey, Robin could be his wing woman. They could be each other's wing woman and wing men. So, yeah, but Mama Steve and Daddy Robin, they are working together again, and they are I think that they're still staying in Hawkins because they've still got their own individual families. I think we haven't really heard much about Robin's family actually. We don't even have a surname for Robin. Yeah, we only have a first name. We don't have a surname for her. I mean, we don't even know about her. I mean, I get the weird feeling that she might be estranged from her family and still living with her, or estranged from her family and living with a relative because of how she is. Like maybe she came out to her family and it didn't go well. I mean, I don't want to assume that, but I feel like that could be the way things are going. Or maybe she's just like she's just not close with her family in general, so she just doesn't really talk about them much. So that could be it. But yeah, so they are still staying in Hawkins, and they've got their new job to go with it. And I think they're still going to be together. So dynamic duo for the win. So that's that. Would love to see more Steve and Robin in the next season. And what else? So Elle is moving in with the Byers. So I think that makes a lot of sense. That does make sense. So I mean, we don't know. I mean, did they mention where they were moving to? I don't think they did. I don't think they mentioned where they were actually moving to. They just said, yeah, like they are moving. U-Haul. They've got a U-Haul. Woodward Real Estate. So they've sold the house. They've already sold the house. It's already for sale. I guess Hopper's death was the last kind of ticket for that one. But yeah. They are leaving. They are leaving Hawkins. But Elle is moving in with the Byers, and I feel like Elle is close enough with the Byers to actually do that. I think she's gonna get along with Elle. She's gonna get along with Will, great, and she already has like a fairly mother and daughter kind of bond with Joyce to be able to, you know, like to deal with them like that. And, you know, I think she very easily passes off as like a sister to Jonathan and Will, so that's going to be fun to see. And I think that's going to be her first time with an actual family as well. Like, because like up until now, it was just her and Hopper. So I think like with them two, like things might have been easier to handle. So I'm imagining some domestic kind of like I'm looking forward to some domestic like 11 like Jane Byers like story like subplots or like some stories or some scenes as a whole. But I do think I do feel like there's going to be some kind of boy versus girl drama going on, and it wouldn't be like a normal family without a little bit of that. So yeah, but she is moving in with the Byers, and we don't know where they're moving to, but I assume it's going to be it's far enough that they can't really pop down for the weekend and then just go back. But yeah, I don't know. I think Joyce might have mentioned it in like a when it was brought up, but I don't know otherwise. But she is moving in with the Byers, and I think that this means that Jonathan and Nancy would be doing long distance. That's going to be tricky. I mean, I can't speak from experience because I've never been in a relationship, but long distance, I mean, I've heard that it is a fairly it is a fairly tricky thing to handle. So Jonathan and Nancy doing long distance, I think they've still got phones, they can still call each other, but I think it is still hard for them to actually have to be apart and move away from everything that they've had. And even Jonathan said, you know, like, this is the Hawkins and everyone in it has been his home for 17 years. So, you know, it's not easy to leave something like that behind. But he's not leaving, and you know, he's not leaving anything forever. He's, you know, I think chances are they're either going to come back or they're going to switch back and forth between wherever they're moving to in Hawkins. But I feel like coming back would be easier, but that means that, you know, like by the time the next season starts, you know, someone else would have moved into the Byers' old house, and that's going to be weird for the kids who are still staying in Hawkins as well. But damn, that final sequence, oh god, like Hop actually did a proper speech then. Hop did a proper speech. Like, he did, like, kind of do a read-through of, Joyce's speech, but he did scratch that out, and then he actually left a proper speech, a proper heart-to-heart speech for Elle. He did leave something like that just for her to read. It wasn't even to do with her and Mike. It was just to do with her, and it was just to do with her and him. It was just a heart-to-heart between him and Elle. Nothing to do with Mike or nothing to do with relationships. Just him and Elle. Just him and Elle, and, you know, I think that, like, the way they kind of relayed that over over the scenes of, like, the kids, like Will saying goodbye to the other kids, and, you know, Elle saying goodbye to Max, and Joyce saying goodbye to everyone, and everyone saying goodbye to each other. It was very emotional, but just seeing scenes like that, seeing goodbye scenes like that, just really just kind of sets me off. It just gets to me, because they've built up so much over so much time, over 2-3 years, and I think, I don't know, it is. Had there been no post-credit scene, had there been no mid-credit scene, we really would have thought this was the end, because then, you know, the storyline's wrapped up, the Mind Flayer's dead, the gate's closed, Hopper gave his life to make sure of that, they're all moving away, they can go back to their normal lives now. Had there been no mid-credit scene, I would have been destroyed. And we really would have just thought this was the end, until they surprise us next year with a Stranger Things Season 4 teaser trailer, or something like that. I don't know. But that scene of just Hopper just giving life advice to Elle, and just telling her to just, you know, remember the pain, but don't let it cloud over you forever, and just, you know, just to move on with your life, move on with the pain, and just all of that was it was hard to watch and it was hard to listen to, but especially it was harder because this tissue needs replacing because it's just crumpled up and used. But it was harder because it was having to watch the kids having to move on with their lives as well, because Will was moving away. He was saying goodbye to all of his friends, and he promised not to join any other party, and he would always come back and play D&D with them. But that was still very emotional to watch. I think I don't think I'll ever be able to watch or think about that scene without crying. I don't think so, but it was a very touching and very nicely done ending to that to the season 4 storyline, to season 3 storyline even. So yeah, that was very well done, and that's Elle moving in with the buyers and the buyers moving away, and the kids going back to their lives, and everyone moving on with their pain. So that's that. Elle finally confessed her love to Mike. She finally said it. She finally said that she loved him, and Mike, being the dingus that he is, didn't say it back, but he already said it. He already said it. Like, within earshot of her, he already said that he loves her. So, you know, it's now been confirmed to be a two-way love street. But that is, yeah, that was beautiful to see. That was beautiful to see. Just her saying, you know, she loves him too, and sharing that one last kiss. That is beautiful. So now they are interlocked as a couple. They will be doing long distance as well. Mike and 11 will be doing long distance as well, and you know, like you know, 11 and Jonathan can just Elle and John can just be like arguing over who's hogging the phone and who's saying I love you more to their significant others, and it's gonna be a laugh. It's gonna be great. But she finally said I love you, so that's that. But yeah, I do think losing Hopper was the last straw, because Hopper was the one thing keeping her here. Hopper was the one thing keeping Joyce here. Melvault, she can, I assume that's been closed down anyway because of the Starcourt Mall, or she would have just sold it to someone else, but she can't. I think for her, she's not strong enough to actually stay in a place where she lost the man that she potentially, the deep down, she did care about and she did love. So it's not like it's going to be too much for her to have to stay in town that kind of brings back that memory. So her leaving, starting someplace new, is what's best for her right now. And you know, she started this moving away plan when Bob died, because you know that was the man she loved, and she watched him die right in front of her eyes. And the same thing happened with Hop. You know, she looked into his eyes, and you know she had no choice. She had to turn the key, blow up the machine. And she had no choice with that. So she lost Hopper as well. Hopper was the last straw. That was the last thing keeping her here. So that it makes sense why she would make the final decision to actually move. In terms of Jonathan and Will, I don't know what's going to happen with them, because I assume Will needs to start a new school maybe, and Jonathan will probably start a new internship somewhere else doing photography. But yeah, and Joyce will probably just get a new job somewhere else. So for the most part, I feel like they are all set, and Elle can join Will in a new school, and you know they'll have each other, so they'll have that much. But yeah, that was the last straw in them moving out. But yeah, very emotional. I think I can't even fucking think about it without my eyes welling up. But that was that ending. The mid-credit scene. So again, American, could be Hop. Hope it's Hop. But we don't know for sure. It could well be Hop, but we can only hope it's Hop. It could be any other American that they find too valuable to feed to the Demogorgon. But you know, but we have to wait to find out. And I sincerely hope it is Hop, then, that he's not dead. But again, we have to wait to find out. But yeah, a Demogorgon. The Russians have a Demogorgon. Like, how and is that even possible? Like, where did they get it from? Because we saw, there's nothing really to guarantee that the test we saw them running at the beginning of the season was the only one they ran, or the first one they ran. They could have run more, but is there? I mean, Yeah, because it was only as long as the beam was being fired into the wall that gate was opening. When the beam was shut down, the gate closed up, and it was just a crack in the wall. So yeah, and Dr. Owen saw it. You saw his reaction to the crack closing up and fading away. So he knew, like, oh shit, it was about to happen again. But yeah, so that the Demogorgon, I don't know how they could have got that. I mean, it reminds me of like the whole Russian Kara storyline from Supergirl, like how the Russians have their own version of Kara of Supergirl. I don't know if it's Kara Danvers, but it's their own version of Supergirl, and looks exactly like Kara except she speaks Russian. So there's that. But where they get a Demogorgon, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, what are they keeping it for? Because it seems like that guy was just a sacrifice. Because like the Demogorgon gets hungry and it needs to eat, so it feels like that guy was just a sacrifice. So that like any prisoners they have that are of no use to them, they're just there for food. They just keep that there, and then they just give the prisoner up when it's time to feed the Demogorgon. But that means we basically do have season 4. And again, I do remember, I think I did mention this before, but the Duffer Brothers have said that season 3 is not going to be the last season. They want to be able to push the show up to at least a season 5 before they consider an end to Stranger Things at all. They want to push it up to at least season 5 before they consider an ending to it. So this mid-credit scene, them having a Demogorgon, that does point very heartily and very brightly towards a season 4. It means that, you know, the Russians have something, like the Russians have a weapon, one that's going to need to be stopped. And if we see who their American is, and the American finds out that they have a Demogorgon, that American is then going to try and get word back to the homeland if he or she can, or it could be. I mean, again, if it's not Hopper, you know, whoever it is probably going to try and find a way to get word back to America that they've got this monster living with like in their like basements or whatever, and they're just constantly feeding their Russian prisoners to it on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, so that means that the upside down threat is not over. Like, you know, we thought the upside down threat was over in season 3, season 2 even. And turns out, like, come season 4, the Russians are just trying to reopen a gate. So, you know, we could get another visit to the Upside Down in season 4, or we could just get, like, the Russians training this Demogorgon to try and fight for them, and trying to fight their wars for them, and then it sets it on America or something. But either way, this points very brightly towards the season 4, because now we have a Demogorgon that needs to be stopped and taken care of. So yeah, that's that. But what else? Elle's powers. So we still have that little vibration thing that goes on whenever she tries to actually use her powers, but they're not working as of yet. So I assume she still has a scar from her injury, because Mike did say, oh, you're going to have a badass scar after this as well. But after she tried to dig that piece of Mind Flayer out of her thing, that scene, Jesus, that was hard to watch as well. Like, just like Jonathan just like heating up the knife to try and get it to cut. I mean, what would heating the knife do? Like, would it just cauterize the wound? Like, how hot does the knife have to be for that, though? Because, I mean, yeah, I assume if he had just simply cut her open, it would have mean that, you know, like, she would have just bled out. But I mean, if he does it with a hot knife, I assume, like, I think would it not hurt more because it's actually like a heated knife? But then once it cuts into the skin, they're still bleeding, but most of the skin tissue, or at least most of the skin breakage, is immediately cauterized, so that they can patch it back up more easily without, you know, more and more blood being passed out. But yeah, so like that scene was hard to watch, and then her biting down on the spoon, just oof, oh buddy. But yeah, but after that, her powers were very, very minimal. Very minimal. We still heard like her, like that vibration that comes up whenever she's trying to use her mind to control something or to move something, but it's just nothing's actually happening. The object isn't moving. She can't actually use them anymore. She has to train them back up, and I assume it's because she still has that scar. Like her body is injured. It's not built to, like, it's kind of like, it's worn down a little bit. It's not yet fully built to actually wield that telekinesis. But her powers, Mike said, you know, like, I think, you know, like, Mike said, you know, like, oh, they'll come back, I know they will. So I wonder if, like, I wonder if he is speaking out just out of compassion, like, just reassuring her that she will get her powers back, or if he is actually saying, like, you know, oh, this is only temporary, because it's, like, you know, it's not a permanent injury, your skin will heal up, your body will heal up, so then, it will be better in the future. But, you know, I wonder if that could be a like a plot point for season 4 as well, like her not having her powers, like she just can't get them back. I mean, like maybe the mind flayer being inside her somehow caused her to actually lose her powers permanently, or like, you know, or like it just takes longer than she would like to get her powers back, and she has to try some other unorthodox methods. But either way, she's lost her powers for now, and I do sincerely hope that she gets them back, but I don't know what the process for that is going to be. I think it's going to be an interesting plot point for season 4, like her actually trying to use her powers in situations, but it doesn't really work, and she has to find a way to get them back, and especially to help stop the Demogorgon as well. And this time, maybe not a season 1 ending where she blows it up and gets sent to the Upside Down again. That would be nice. But yeah. That is everything I have written down for this episode. Wow, one hell of a season 5. I think this is the longest episode of Stranger Things there's ever been as well. This is 1 hour 17 minutes. Yeah, it's like almost an hour and a half long. So like the longest episode we've got. I'm gonna have to cut a lot of this shit down. Jesus. Okay. But as always, uncut reactions will be available on Patreon, so you guys can go there with your own copies of the episode and sync it up and bang, just to watch it all full length. So, yeah, that's that. What else? I don't know if I'm gonna I might do a video for this on like season 4 predictions on what I think might be coming up in season 4, but overall, I loved this season, absolutely loved it to bits. Such a good continuation of season 2, and such a good way to bring the characters back into the mix and to have the story catching up with them instead. I feel like that's the way this one actually ran. You know, like season 1 was actually introducing them to all of this stuff. Season 2, they still had to fight back against stuff because stuff wasn't really over. Hawkins' lab was still functional. Season 3, it's like, you know, okay, we shut everything down, everything's closed off, we can go back to our normal lives. Oh wait, no, you know, stuff is still happening and we have to deal with it. We have to adapt to it as it happens. Which is a nice way to actually have things run in this case. So yeah, I love this season, love all the characters, love the new characters as well. You know, like just happiness, drama, action, and hey, always full of sad and emotional trauma. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Love all the characters, yep, especially Robin. Love Daddy Robin. Should I stop calling her that? I don't know, but I do genuinely love like everything they did with the season. I love how they introduced her. I love how they brought back the whole stuff with the gate and the Russians. It was just amazing, all of it. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I have written down for for this episode. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and yeah, that is pretty much it. And that was Stranger Things Season 3, Episode 8, Chapter 8, titled The Battle of Starcourt. Indeed it was one hell of a battle. But yeah, that was it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think, what you think of what happened in this episode and what you think of the season as a whole, and your overall kind of review on it. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.